What is happening? Welcome back to Blue Screen of Tech. Today we're taking a brief first impressions look at Enigma of Sepia, and it's a spicy one. Rated T for teen, but they are skirting the line on this one. However, some of you might be excited for that. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the like if you enjoy the video. Helps the algorithm. As always, if there are any chapters to this video, they will be below in the description, so you can jump to the section you want to see and then just bug out if you want after that. I appreciate everyone's time, so let's get into it. Right away, let's get into the combat. I'm going to start at some PvP in the arena because you have control over the battle speed here and some other spots, but not in the main quest. So let me check an opponent here. So if we check out our setup, we've got 6 waifu characters. I don't think there are any male characters in this game, by the way, but you know, that's fine. How your initial setup will look will depend on the game mode that you're in. You can change the formation here with 6 different options. I'm using this one right now. You can filter by elemental type. You've got your green, yellow, blue, and red. In the upper left, you've got your Shikigami. And this is like your god-style helper that will help aid you in the battle. Different ones, right, will give different attacks or abilities. At the top, you can see the buff that you have active here. I have Demon Curse with HP plus 15. It's 4 Mastery Heroes, or 4 yellows, and then Attack plus 13. And I really like this visual that they have up here because it'll show you right away that you've got the 4 yellow deployed. If you look at your opponent over here, they've got 3 yellow, so you can also check out what they've got. That way you can adjust accordingly. So if you had, let's say, like 2 green, 2 yellow, 2 blue, 2 red, it will reflect that in the actual icon up here. I thought that kind of was an extra detail that was pretty neat. You've got a quick deployment option button down here near the challenge, and then you can sync your lineup if you want with other game modes that are kind of attached to this. So if you don't want to, you don't have to. You can just keep it independent. You can maybe just select one of these, like maybe I wanted this in the PvP Great Voyage team, but not the others, and you can just confirm it, and then it would sync that lineup. Hit challenge, and then you let them fight. Now I got this on ×2 battle speed, but you can go back down to ×1. I'll put it down so we can kind of check out the battle. The overall battle, I think, is really flashy, especially like with the ultimates. You get to see the damage in real time, which adds to the impact. The screen like shakes when people are attacked. Now the ultimates, when they go off, they're really cool. I would say they're very like action anime style.
Behave, or your flesh won't be
Yeah, check that out. So we're gonna let this play out. I'm gonna jump to ×2 speed. Now, you only have auto control over the battle. There's no manual control, which I thought was a big disappointment. You can't rotate the screen, you can't zoom in or out. It's like this fixed 3/4 view, but that's what you get. Battle ends, you've got your usual information, your rewards and stuff, what your ranking was and your points. I don't think there's any like detailed stats. Oh, maybe there is, up here. And then it'll auto close out after like 8 seconds, so you either get to check it out or you click confirm, but whatever the case is, it is going to close out. I'm going to go ahead and pick one more opponent. This time I'm going to hit quick to see if it changes my lineup at all, and it did. So the system thinks that this one is a better lineup for whatever reason. Now, I don't know if these are some collaborations, but you can see on screen with the enemy, there's some particular characters that represent some particular animes. So I don't know if it's a collab or if it's like a, you know, like a Great Value One Piece, a Great Value Dragon Ball Z.
I will become the Pirate King! This road is off limits! I will never again let anyone sacrifice themselves before me!
End of that battle, gonna hit confirm. Now let me jump over to the combat in the main quest. Now, unlike the other areas, you don't have any pre-battle screen. Your ladies are just going to be attacking in the background non-stop, so it's kind of like an idle game where your team just does their thing, but instead of only collecting resources, it's actually advancing you through the main quest stages at the same time. So you can see at the top, I'm on stage 141. I've been stuck on this for a while. Now in the beginning, this will move pretty fast because you'll be strong enough, but once you hit the higher levels, it'll slow down a lot as your team has issues dealing with stronger enemies. So in this area, you don't have any battle speed control, and that was why I wanted to start in the other area first. So if you sit and watch this, it'll just be at a much slower pace. But you'll want to check in here from time to time to see how your heroes are doing, like where they're having trouble at what point they're getting stuck and they're losing. Now, one more thing is the treasury chest. You gotta come in here to collect these idle rewards. Other than that, this isn't like a real exciting area. The background, the combat scenery, it doesn't really change at all. You're always fighting on this bridge. But I mean, the music is pretty good at least. Now, I don't have any stuff in my treasure box. That's because I'm stuck on the stage 141, so I'm not advancing and I'm not collecting anything. I've already collected what I had. And you can jump out of this at any time. You just touch the screen, and then you can even go into your hero lineup. And if you want to just change your formation or change the heroes, you can do that. So let me change a formation. Let me do that again. Hit save and go back, and then your formation should be changed up. Now, when it comes to the main quest, there is usually 10 different rounds of enemies. So the 10th one is always like the boss fight. So it gets tougher and tougher, of course, as it goes on, and then you move on to the next stage. Now, right now, that's really all there is when it comes to combat. Let's go ahead and take a look at maybe some of the characters. Checking out the ladies, I have to give a disclaimer. I might have to be careful about what I show depending on the artwork for certain characters. Remember when I said they skirt the line on that T rating? I sure meant it. Now, each hero has two artworks, a 2.5D and a 3D model.
When I draw my second sword, those I love.
You've got your character rarity in the top left. The highest one I have is an SSR. And then depending on that rarity, then it gives you certain stats. Right below that, you have what I call the element color. And then the class type is going to be right next to it. So you got Assault, Curse, Healer, and Defense. Now they do one more thing, and they do give you additional tags so you can get a glance at what the hero does. So Celestia here is an AoE and a buff. And she gets that based on the type of attacks that she has. You can reset your hero if you want, and I think you get back some of the resources or maybe all of the resources when you do that. Now, upgrading is really easy. It's a simple one click for one level at a time. I'm completely out of experience, so I can't do it right now. But if you can actually go higher than that, when you go to upgrade, it'll tell you what the max level is. So it's either one level at a time, or it's just completely to the max level of what it is that you can do. Now, if you click in the stat area, it's going to show you the full details of all the stats. You can check that out. Over on the left, you've got the star up, and this lets you increase your stats. So you can see that with Celestia, I have enough resources to upgrade by 1. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go from no stars up to 1 star. Gears is where you have your equipment. You can either quick equip or quick unequip. Joint attack, I don't have this set up yet. You need to have at least 2 of the required characters that they need in there, and they have to be 5 stars each in order to get it going. So with this character, where she has 2 sections, Dream Blade Glint and Shinobi Rift Slash, but some characters, they have 3 sections, 2 passives and 1 non-passive, and some only have 1 section. So if you check Mentora here, for example, right, she has this 1 passive section, but she doesn't have like the other non-passive one like Celestia has. So some will have just this one, some will have 2, some will have 3. All right, so if we click back into Dreamblade Glint for her, it doesn't really tell you. You have to kind of look over here, and it'll say that you need Sylvia and Celestia, right, and they need to reach at least 5 stars in order to get that started. And then below that is the Shinobi Rift Slash, and that one right there, you need to have this other character, which is Ayame. And if you have Ayame, then you get this other skill or something.
I still have a human heart.
I might have to edit that. if I leave it in, then congratulations. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cycle through some of these ladies so you can see some more artwork. I actually have one more dedicated video on this channel showing you some of the characters, and I'll probably have a second part to that coming up.
You're everything.
Face reality to become strong.
Oh no. It's raining.
This power cuts through steel.
You can see that they really gave the artwork certain detail, but also they got some cool intros.
Sakura, I'll keep you safe.
Insecurities propel yourself further.
Yeah, so with Ivy Lynn here, you can see that she has these two setups here, but she doesn't have the other type where you have one more hero and then it gives you some type of non-passive skill set. These ones here give you stat bonuses when you have the two characters they want. So when you have Lyra and Ivy Lynn together and they reach level 5.
Whether human or vampire, I will protect them.
Silence. Doesn't matter. I'm just stating facts. Self-sacrifice is just a way to satisfy yourself. I'll fight the strongest person to turn you back into a human.
You were lingering on power me.
After that, you know it, right? They demand sacrifices from anyone. I seek power to take everything.
Alright, so let's go ahead and take an overview of some of the resources and the game modes. Now we won't spend too much time on the game modes and resources in this video, and that's because there's quite a few. There's some limited events right now, and that's in the top right hand corner, but that's because the game just launched. So the big one being the Sepia Crusade. So always check back up there for any events. Next to that, you've got pass, gifts, and mail. You'll always want to check those because those ones seem to refresh quite a bit with things that you can collect. You also have the mission lift, and that's over on the left side over here. At the top, you're going to see this big old tree, and this stuff will generate up here, and you can collect those pretty much at any time. Now heading down into the city here, we got Joy Park. This is like a little casino area that you can do. Right now I only have the roulette table opened up, but you've got some others like the gacha machine and treasure blind box, but those are really high level. These other things over here I haven't unlocked yet. They're still in development, so I can't even play them anyways. So next to that you got Dark Tower. Dark Tower is like your tower based series like anything else. So you go through, you get a buff, and then you select a buff that you want, and then you just keep going up the tower collecting your resources and all that. The Budokan is where I had the arena that I played earlier, and I've got a bunch of these other things that I haven't unlocked yet, like the Zodiac, the Sky Arena. A lot of things are coming soon, so we'll have to wait on those. You've got guild over here for guild stuff. Summon for your summoning your heroes. You've got your temple. This is where you can access your Shikigami. So you can level them up here, and you can also swap them out and everything. And then also in here is the star chain. Now the star chain I just opened up, and honestly I'm a little confused how it works, but essentially it's another way to increase various stats. I think there's a little more to that, but I didn't really understand enough about it to be able to give a good opinion on it. Back out, we got the Void Rift, and the Void Rift, this is a big area where you do levels. You can get specific materials, such as like the Devil's Knight here. This is for Star Soul materials that you need for the Star Chain that I just showed you. You got the Dimenial Trap, and that gives you a hero XP, and then the Premium of Chaos that gives you, like, I call it gold coins, but it's like your main currency in this game. You've also got the notice section, and you'll want to come in here every so often, and you'll notice little red dots, and you can just collect these, and it's just more resources to get you. But these also act as little shortcuts to some of the other areas. There's some other stuff too, like the factory, and this is where you have access to your equipment, your scrolls, and emblems. The emblems I haven't unlocked yet, so I can't get there. And the tech lab, I need to have 6-star heroes to be able to get into, so I can't really show that. Other than that, you got like the shop. So, you know, all real basic stuff that you see in this kind of game. Now, one last area is your home. So if you hit your home, there's a couple of buildings in here. And in my opinion, the most important one is the Hero Museum. And this is where you can set up your heroes to sync your levels. So it's like other gacha games where you have your main heroes that you want. The lowest level hero is going to be the one that's going to set the tone for the rest of the heroes that you put in your list. And if you take one of these out, you have to wait 24 hours by default in order for you to use that slot again, or you can like use some of your gems and it'll let you do it like right then. Now the garden is where you get things like wood and other plants. Right now I can only grow wood, but then you use that wood in order to upgrade these buildings. The spa house is where you can increase your affinity for your ladies, and the dessert room is where you can make food that you can use to give the gifts to increase your affinity. Now you can also visit your friends' homes using this little inbox here. So you can actually visit somebody else's place, and if they have like any plants that need watering, you can actually just help water those plants, and that gives you like a little bit of a reward for it. And it also reduces the amount of time that their plant like it takes to, in order for it to grow. So if they had X amount of 5 hours for it to turn into wood or whatever, you know, it helped take some time off. I think it's only like 10 minutes at a time or something like that. So that covers most things that I personally have unlocked right now, but there's more places you can still get that's coming up. Like I said, I just haven't unlocked them yet. So wrapping this up, I have a few thoughts. They overwhelm you very early on with a lot of the game modes. I think this is a catch-22. It's great you have a lot to access so you don't get bored, but there's so many places to remember that it becomes kind of cumbersome. And because there's rewards that are buried in each section, you have to take the time to constantly claim those in that area. So I just wish they had a better way of claiming those in maybe one area or one list. And some spots you can only claim one thing at a time, even if you have a list of 5 things to collect. You have to click each one, so there's no claim all in a lot of spots. I think there might be some exceptions in a few areas. There's no extra battle speed on the main quest missions, and I think that's also kind of odd. I get it because you're not really playing that area per se. It's just like an idle game where your team does its thing, but it would be nice if they sped it up if you could. I feel like if your team is strong enough, you should be able to pass through a stage as quick as possible so you can collect those rewards and all that. I also don't like that you don't have control over the battle. It's just all automated like a lot of games these days. You can't select an enemy to attack, you can't turn the ultimates on and off, and you can't just use those manually like nothing. And that left me feeling a bit empty when it came to the combat. But for sure the highlight of this game is the character artwork. That is without a doubt. This is a waifu game 100%, and you don't need to pay to play for anything. You'll get stuck in the main quest like anything else, and you just need to grind things out in order for your resources to come, and then you level up and you keep going. Now they do start you off with a very loose story talking about Sepia, which is the big bad boss of the game, but it's not really a core attachment to what you do. There's no deep lore or anything you need to follow to enjoy this. It's really about keeping that target demographic playing and hopefully getting them to spend some money. I just hope they change it so you can have some actual control of the combat to make it more enjoyable. But that's all for this one. Hope you enjoyed this overview. If you feel so inclined, please like the video, subscribe for more gaming content, and I'll see you in the next game.
Tear it all down, then build it anew!
Behave, or your flesh